What if events went differently within the MCU? What if the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Welcome back, my fellow watchers of the multiverse, to yet another brand new Marvel and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover video. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at the MCU timeline, starting off with Avengers 2012, and seeing how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would change all the events in the MCU if they were brought into the MCU timeline. Now, I do want to give a massive shout out to Peyton Anderson for requesting this video for the last 2.5 years. It's been a very long time. I really didn't know how to begin with this scenario, so to finally have it done, and especially, you know, over the last 2 years to finally have this video out there, I'm just very thankful that a lot of you guys have just been supporting the channel, wanting new different series content, especially with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and diving into all the lore and everything that's in between. I'm just very thankful that you guys want this stuff, and to finally see it happen, it really puts a smile on my face. So again, let's dive into the brand new What If episode. Location: Earth in another dimension. For a moment, the world had completely fallen apart. The Turtles, April and Casey, looked on, in shock as Shredder's metallic claws pierced into Splinter's rodent form, as Splinter fell too. The floor. April released a sudden wave of psychic energy that blasted Shredder off the room. Then, they ran towards Splinter, sorrow completely filling their hearts. But that was not all to be sorrowful for. The cannon blaster had been activated, and soon, there was a huge black hole above the Earth. A hole that began to absorb everything that was on the Earth. The Earth was being destroyed. They had lost. The Tricerians had won. Suddenly, they heard a voice call out to them in the distance as their world was crumbling. It was some sort of robot in a ship. He was beckoning them to come with him. Seeing as they did not have much of a choice, they joined him on his ship, and suddenly the ship left a decaying Earth. But this was where things did not go according to plan. The ship in question was a time ship, prone to the multiple variables of time waves and quakes. There was a sudden time quake that shook the area, its force tossing the ship into the temporal zone. Several time waves struck the ship and everyone on it screamed. 36 hours before Loki's predestined attack on S.H.I.E.L.D. Location: Earth 616, Mjolnir crash site. Raphael could feel the sunlight bruise his green eyelids, and he struggled to open them. As he made to stand, he wondered how long he had been unconscious. Moreover, was it that he felt much heavier? Perhaps his shell was pulling him to the ground under the laws of a different kind of gravity. By the time his eyes fully adjusted to the sunlight, he was on his feet and he observed his surroundings. This definitely looked like Earth, which surprised him, considering the fact that Earth had been destroyed by the Triceratons. It was at that moment that his memories began to flood back, each passing one more painful than the last. He remembered Shredder stabbing Splinter in the back, literally. He also remembered being saved by an alien-like robotic being that he never got to know its name. He remembered their ship facing some sort of unusual turbulence. He remembered being blasted by a bright light. When Raph came to, he noticed that he was in broad daylight, and it only meant one thing. He was being observed by humans. As he took a step, the humans around him took to their heels, screaming as they ran away. Oh, dang it, Raphael sighed, knowing he had to get to the sewers or something. He immediately located his weapons on the ground and took to his heels. When S.H.I.E.L.D. agents surrounded the environment, they were quite apprehensive. Phil Coulson led the squad to apprehend the threat. He had to admit he had not been expecting a green, human-sized turtle with a red headband. His job was getting weirder by the day. In time, the agents surrounded the entire environment, blocking all possible exits. And as they anticipated, Raph had no choice but to come out and prepare to face them. With these agents' guns pointed towards him, Raph immediately yelled that they should get their crazy toys out of his face. Was this how they treated people without giving them a chance to defend themselves? For a second, the agents appeared confused. This turtle seemed to have anger issues, but it seemed less threatening and more of a whiny teenager. Raph took a step forward, attempting to reason with the agents, but one of them got scared, pulling the trigger. Immediately, Raph's quick reflexes came in, and he used his twin Sai to block the bullet. Seeing this, Raph became maddened. If these guys wanted a fight, they were going to get a fight. Raph charged at them as they fired at him, using his high reflexes to dodge most of their bullets. With his twin SAI, he was able to incapacitate most of his attackers in seconds, but he ensured his blows would only cause minor injuries. As he fought, he knew that Splinter would be proud of him for applying restraint in this fight. Restraint was definitely unlike Raph. Raph was getting the upper hand in the fight, and soon he would have been able to escape. However, he felt a sharp sting close to his neck bone, and he grunted in pain as he held the area. Then he fell to the floor with a loud bang. Phil Coulson smiled. With one shot, he had taken down the threat. Location: Earth 616. S.H.I.E.L.D. Helicarrier. When Raph opened his eyes, he was pleasantly surprised to know that he wasn't dead. He touched his neck to realize there was a bandage on the wounded area. Did his assailants treat him? I can assure you that we did little, your unique physiology did the rest, he heard a man say from outside his room. It was then Raph took the time to observe the environment. He wasn't in a room, but a cell. Moreover, there was a black man in an eye patch standing outside the cell. Normally, Raph would have considered this man to be the big bad guy. However, he didn't. Maybe it was because he was digging the man's choice of outfits. The man introduced himself as Nick Fury, and he beckoned on Raph to introduce himself too. Raph introduced himself, and Fury asked if Raph was into famous painters. With a sad sigh, Raph noted that his father was into that sort of stuff. Seeing the sensitivity of the topic, Fury proceeded to change it, noting that he was actually pleased to have Raph here, and unlike what many of his colleagues would have been thinking, he did not consider Raph a threat. Hearing this, Raph asked why. Smiling, Fury noted that in the past year there had been several anomalies from space in different parts of the world. At first, Fury had thought it to be another Asgardian threat. Raph did not understand the Asgardian reference, but he ignored it, but eventually his studies revealed otherwise. Alien beings similar to Raph had landed on Earth twice in the previous year, each in a different city and time period, making Raph the third arrival. Hearing this, Raph corrected Fury and noted he wasn't an alien, just a mutated turtle thanks to the effect of a chemical substance called mutagen. Moreover, he noted that he did not really understand the science of how he landed on Earth separately from the other beings. This science crap was Donatello's specialty. However, Raph was convinced that these beings that landed were his brothers, and if they found them, somehow they would be able to understand why and how they landed here. Hearing Raph's theory, Fury appreciated it. Moreover, Fury noted that he was not completely certain that Raph was not truly a threat to the world. To that extent, he would have to find these brothers of Raph and bring them into custody. Raph immediately noted they were not threats, and if Fury was smart, he would see that. Besides, how was Fury going to track his brothers now? From the looks of things, he had been very unsuccessful in doing that for the past year. Fury appreciated the question, and further noted that with Raph here, it would be easier for the S.H.I.E.L.D. scientists to use Raph's DNA to localize distinct DNA patterns in the different locations where the anomalies had occurred. Hence, it would be much easier to find Raph's brothers. On saying this, Raph countered that he would never let Fury take a sample of his DNA. To which Fury replied that he already did, lifting up a sample to demonstrate, and with that, Fury walked out of the room. Phil Coulson and Fury were engaged in a serious conversation regarding Raph and the possible existence of more turtles. Fury noted that he did not believe Raph was a threat, but he was not ready to jump into conclusions until he met the other turtles. If there were others like Raph, they could be possible assets. At the same time, Fury was well aware that these turtles could also be threats if they were in the wrong hands. On hearing this, Coulson inquired if Fury was going to deploy a squad to find them. However, Fury noted that deploying a squad was unnecessary. Instead, he was going to find these turtles on his own. Coulson immediately countered the idea, noting that Fury was going to be unnecessarily putting himself in danger. However, it seemed like Fury was already dead set on his plan. Coulson had no choice but to agree. More so, Fury was not leaving Coulson without a task. It was Coulson's responsibility to study Raph and examine his strengths and weaknesses. Fury expected to receive full reports of Coulson's progress as he journeyed. Slightly concerned about his task, but willing to get on with it anyway, Coulson nodded and wished Fury good luck. 26 hours till Loki's predestined attack on S.H.I.E.L.D. Location: Havana Forest, Cuba. When Fury arrived at the area, he took a moment to consider if his all-black dressing pattern was not too distinctive for somewhere that was meant to be a recreational area. Nevertheless, he pushed forward. As he moved, he wondered what a human-sized turtle would be doing in a recreational center. Perhaps the turtle was adapting to its natural habitat? No, that was not it from what he observed in Raph. These turtles were way too smart to do something too dumb. As he moved, he considered that this place was instead a strategic location, and there was a reason one of the turtles was here. Fury reconditioned his tracking device, and from his readings he could tell that the next turtle was closer. If he hadn't seen the turtle already, it was either that the turtle was hiding in plain sight or that someone here was concealing the turtle. And since this wasn't a typical Hollywood children's movie, whoever was concealing the turtle had a hell of an intriguing motive behind it. Now all Fury had to do was find that person. He observed the people in the area, and conveniently observed one of them that was walking around in a similar all-black outfit. There was no wrong you could ever do in a black leather jacket, Fury admitted proudly. Walking towards the guy, Fury engaged the guy in a brief conversation, commenting on their shared love for nature. Moreover, he noted the markings on the guy's wrists and conveniently noted that these markings were only found on persons who trained with katanas. The man, seeing his ruse was up, laughed and asked what the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. was coming to meet him for. Fury noted that he was not here to cause trouble, but to meet a very interesting asset the man had. The man, introducing himself as Agent Castiel of the CIA, noted that this asset was CIA property, and the CIA did not appreciate S.H.I.E.L.D. meddling in their affairs. Nevertheless, Agent Castiel offered to take Fury to their camp to see their asset. It was a 20 minutes walk to what ended up being several tents arranged in a circle. Entering one of the tents, all Fury could see was a middle-aged man working on his laptop. Camouflage Fury noted. Agent Castiel tapped his device, and the illusion faded, revealing another human-sized turtle, who was busy on several computers. This turtle wore a purple headband. Nick Fury, meet Donatello Agent Castiel said. Donnie lifted his eyes from the computer and noticed a face he could not recognize. Seeing the man, Donnie lifted his right hand and waved awkward, releasing a weird hi. Then, Donnie proceeded to get back to work. At this moment, Fury remembered what Raph said. Raph had mentioned one of his brothers was very tech-savvy. This had to be the brother. Fury turned to Castiel and asked how the CIA had acquired Donnie. Castiel noted that Donnie had mysteriously landed in the naval station Guantanamo Bay 4 months ago. Of course, the soldiers had proceeded to attack. Donnie, who had surprisingly demonstrated some super unique skill set, fending them off easily. When Donnie escaped, the CIA operatives in Cuba got word of it and set out to capture Donnie. By the time they acquired him, they decided that his martial arts experience and his science expertise would be very useful in their missions. Hence, Donnie had been their secret weapon for the longest times, being deployed for very crucial missions, and he hacked into some of the most complex security systems. In fact, it was Donnie that built the camouflage device and had it configured to his skin in such a way that when it was activated and all persons around would see was a middle-aged man. Moreover, Donnie was an excellent chemist. Perhaps he was way too smart for his liking. Hearing this, Fury instantly knew it would be very difficult for S.H.I.E.L.D. to acquire Donnie from the CIA. He had to act, and he had to act now. Fury turned to Donnie and noted that his brother sent his regards. Hearing this, Donnie stopped working and let his eyes connect with Fury's. Seeing that his statement had the desired attention, Fury proceeded to describe Raph using punch words that he knew were sufficient to convince Donnie that he wasn't lying. And with that, Fury added that Donnie could always come back to the Helicarrier to see Raph if he wanted. Castiel immediately argued that this wasn't part of the plan, causing Fury to knock him out cold. "What the hell did you do that for?" Donnie asked, evidently shocked. Fury did not answer him. He simply noted that they did not have much time, and Donnie had to come with him immediately. Besides, he would make a call later and resolve the entire issue. Understanding the situation, Donnie noted that he had to get something first, and he quickly went across the room. Fury observed what Donnie carried. It was a pretty impressive bow staff. Location: S.H.I.E.L.D. Helicarrier. From the security cameras, Coulson observed that Raph was causing quite the commotion. He did not understand what this weird mutant wanted, but when he took time to listen, he heard something about the mutant complaining that the food was terrible. Coulson went down to the cells himself and proceeded to threaten Raph to calm down. However, Raph noted that he was hungry, and until he got something proper to eat, he was not going to stop whining. Understanding that Fury needed Raph in optimal condition, Coulson proceeded to ask what Raph wanted to eat. Raph's response was simple, and the simplicity was very surprising to Coulson. Raph wanted to eat pizza. 16 hours until Loki's predestined attack on S.H.I.E.L.D. Location: Ibis, Yanbu, Saudi Arabia. Using the camouflage device, Donnie was easily passing off for a middle-aged man, and he walked with Fury without any obstruction as they left the airport and moved down to this hotel. Fury had successfully localized another one of his brothers to this place. However, Donnie noted that no matter accurate the readings on the tracker were, how were they going to find that brother in such a crowd? 6. And yet finding a human-sized reptilian is meant to be easy. Fury sighed. Feeling offended, Donnie retorted with a, "Hey." Before they could argue the grammar further, there was a loud commotion. Immediately, a man dressed in a thaw. He was followed by 6 other men, who wore the same thing. However, Donnie noticed something off about one of the men. Was that a slice of pizza hidden in a seclusive part of his garment? It was then it hit Donnie. He had designed another one of these camouflage devices 2 months ago. Agent Castiel had told him it was being sold to one of their sources in the Arab states, and there was nothing better to camouflage than a walking human-sized turtle. "Mikey!" Donnie screamed out. The man with the pizza slice turned and spotted Donnie, who was lifted up a part of his bow staff for reference. Excited, Michelangelo rushed down the stairs to meet his brother, and they embraced themselves deeply. "Where have you been, bro?" "Dang, your disguise is way cooler than mine." "So, digging the white mustache," Mikey said in his usual slurry manner. Donnie laughed and noted that things never changed. Suddenly, the man Mikey was with, Samar Ali, ordered Mikey to come back to him. Fury. And Donnie turned to Mikey, who quickly explained that he was actually a bodyguard to this Samar Ali, who was one of the most influential and powerful rich men in the Arab states. Hence, Fury asked Mikey how long he had been here, and Mikey noted he had been year 4, about 14 months. He had arrived inside a pool in, coincidentally, this same hotel. When he did, he had caused quite some commotion, and in order to ensure that he did not cause any trouble, he had run into the streets. For a month, he was able to avoid trouble, but it wasn't so easy for him, especially with everyone on high alert of his presence. Soon enough, Samar Ali had found him and offered him a chance to be a part of his bodyguards. Before, Mikey always operated in the shadows, coming out only at night, and following Samar Ali to the most dangerous of places. This was until 2 months ago, when they purchased a camouflage device that could cause Mikey to blend in with the rest of the world. "I suggest we make a run for it," Fury noted, and the brothers looked at each other, taking the hint and removing their camouflage devices, revealing their true nature. Donnie with his purple headband and Mikey with his orange headband. With Fury, they ran out of the hotel, sparring and knocking out anyone who stood in their way. Fury also observed that Mikey used a pair of nunchucks. 7 hours until Loki's predestined attack on S.H.I.E.L.D. While they were on their plane back to the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, Fury told Donnie and Mikey about Raph's arrival barely 2 days ago. Hearing this, Donnie theorized that the time wave that attacked them while they were on Fugitoid's ship must have thrown them all into another universe, only at different locations and time periods. However, Fury noted that they were the last of the anomalies he knew of. Hence, there was no way of knowing the location of April, Casey, and Leonardo, a possibility that hurt Donnie and Mikey. However, they were not going to give up the same way they managed to find each other. They would find the rest of their family too. It was at this moment that Fury was finally convinced that these turtles were not a threat. In fact, they seemed to be a potential asset if utilized properly. 1 hour until Loki's predestined attack on S.H.I.E.L.D. Location: S.H.I.E.L.D. Helicarrier. Coulson arrived at the holding cell and opened it up for Raph, who stepped out majestically, still downing his pizza. When Raph asked why he was being released from containment, Coulson noted that Fury had just determined that the turtles were not a threat, an action which Raph scoffed to, noting that Fury could have just saved himself the stress and taken his word for it. Then, Coulson noted the bandage on Raph's neck, and noted Raph healed quite fast. Raph touched his neck and noted he wasn't going to easily forgive Coulson for shooting him in the neck. Coulson grinned and noted that he was simply doing his job. Besides, if duty called that, he had to do it again. He would not hesitate. Raph shrugged and called that outright. Discrimination because he was different. Then Raph walked away. Everything has been going on smoothly in S.H.I.E.L.D. until the Tesseract started acting up, and as soon enough there was a man who appeared in the area, holding a scepter. The man proceeded to brainwash most of the soldiers around to do his bidding, including Clint Barton. This man's name was Loki. On hearing the commotion, Raph and Coulson, who had been walking around together, had rushed to the lab, and they immediately proceeded to attack. Coulson dueled Barton while Raph dueled Loki, who was pleasantly surprised to see a mutated reptilian in S.H.I.E.L.D. While Loki did not expect this new development, he knew he could use it to his advantage. 8. When it seemed like Raph was getting the upper hand in their hand-to-hand combat, Loki proceeded to touch Raph with his scepter, proceeding to brainwash Raph. Raph struggled to fight against Loki invading his mind, but he was struggling in vain before Coulson could realize it. Raph was now under Loki's control. Moreover, this sudden mind control of Raph was sufficient distraction for Barton to break Coulson's arm and toss him aside on the floor. And weak, Coulson could do nothing but watch the horror unfold right in front of him. With this turtle on his side, Coulson had no idea what Loki was now capable of. After all, there were more unexplored skills this hot-headed teenage turtle had. With his new acolytes, Loki took the Tesseract and left the building. Location: Asgard. Thor stood over the bed, a million possibilities going through his mind at the moment. As he watched this unconscious being, he wondered when it would wake up and give him answers. For the past 8 months, this being had been comatose, and the worst part was that no matter what the Asgardian healers tried, nothing seemed to be working. Thor observed the patient. It was a human-sized turtle. Beside the turtle was a katana and a blue headband. Moreover, when the turtle had arrived at Asgard, Thor could have sworn that he had heard the turtle whisper a name. My name. My name. My name is Leonardo, the turtle had said. From that day until this very one, the turtle never uttered another word. And that is going to be it for part 1 of What If the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, what did you think of this episode? And would you guys like to see more? Do let me know in the comments down below. Consider subscribing and make sure to like the video, as that really helps the algorithm. It really helps support this channel. But that being said, if you guys want to see like even more MissedThePart content, I would highly recommend that you check out the Patreon as well as the Substack, because there's a ton of different exclusive videos, exclusive behind the scenes content on both respected websites, so you can see so much more if you guys want to check that out. But that being said, thank you guys so much for all of the support, and thank you again, Peyton, for making this request, because if you didn't request it, I probably wouldn't have made the video. So again, thank you so much for your enthusiasm, your support. It really goes a long way. With that being said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care and have a wonderful day. Peace out.